Hello and welcome to the Business of Meeting podcast. I'm your host, Eric Rozenberg. Over the years, I've had the privilege of helping businesses in the meetings and event industry grow and succeed. And I'm excited to share that experience with you. If you feel alone and overwhelmed, and if you're looking to take your business to the next level, improve your strategy and sales, and connect with like-minded professionals, you are in the right place. I invite you to visit eventbusinessformula.com and join our community of event business owners dedicated to exponential growth. Now, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the Business of Meeting podcast. Today, I want to talk about taking care of oneself, focusing on our mental health, and especially now that there's a lot of uncertainty. And before we get into that, I want to share with you a true story that happened to me in Sardinia. We were organizing a sales meeting, a big sales meeting for a medical device company at the Forte Village. And the last night, we were actually, I was with the editing team looking at all the videos from the entire week. And we were preparing to do a surprise the following evening. We were actually going to have the dinner and then finalize the editing just for that day and then show the summary of the entire week after dinner. So it was quite late, almost 2:30 at night. And I went down, take something at the bar for the team. And as soon as the elevator doors open, so it's 2:30 at night, and I see people around a guy who was lying on the floor with blood coming out of his head. So I immediately went and asked what was going on. Apparently, he fell backwards on the corner of a table. His head was bleeding. So I immediately called the head of the company I was planning the meeting from the UK. I know she was a nurse practitioner by trade. And thank God she was available and came and looked at it. And she said, listen, if we move him, there's a risk. But if we don't move him, and if the bone in the head went into the brain, if we press too hard, we might kill him. And all the detail, the medical detail, but basically the summary was, or we take some risk and we move him to the hospital, or we keep pushing there and he's gonna maybe die from having this bone getting into the brain and losing the blood and everything. So I went immediately to the reception. I said, I need transportation to the hospital. And the guy at the reception told me, sir, we have a procedure. We have first to call a doctor. And I look at him and say, F the procedure. I need transportation now. And he said, no, I can't. So I call immediately Kai, which was our partner on site. It's now 2:35 to 40. And I say, Kai, please send me an ambulance immediately to the Forte Village. And as I was hanging up with him, I saw there was a van. And actually, the van was there for another group, for a lady that had fallen and twisted her foot. So I went there and said, I'm sorry, it's a question of death or life. And so we started moving the guy who was bleeding into the van. And I had people telling me, well, you cannot do that. It's dangerous. I said, listen, I spoke to somebody who's knowledgeable. We've taken a decision. Let's go. And so we start driving, and I called Kai again. I said, listen, I found a van. Please call back the hospital. Tell them to tell the ambulance that when they see a van flashing the lights, it's us, and they have to stop. And so as we were driving, we saw the ambulance with all the lights. We start flashing. They stop. We transferred the guy in the ambulance and saved his life. The next evening, who was at the bar with a big bandage on the head and drinking beer again? This guy, who, by the way, was not part of the team of my client. But I was like, come on, this guy yesterday fell on his head because he had drank too much. We saved his life. And there he is again. So you know what? As they say in English, you can bring the horse to the water, but you cannot force him to drink. So if you don't take care of your health, nobody else will for you. And my whole point about the story is that we are in an uncertain time and it's stressing. But on the same token, We can only focus on what we have an impact on. As I always said, I don't have an impact on the rest of the world. I don't have an impact on potential war in other countries. I don't have an impact on tariffs. I do have an impact on me. I do have an impact on my business. I do have an impact on my client. That's what I should be focusing on. And the first thing that we should be focusing on is on ourselves. It's on our health, it's on our mental health. My favorite quote from Rabbi Hillel is, "If I'm not for me, who will be? If I'm not for the others, what am I worth? And if not now, when?" And so I'm speaking regularly with friends that are telling me, "I know what I should be doing. I used to exercise a lot. I used to do CrossFit or tennis or whatever it is. And now I'm stressed and I'm not exercising anymore and I'm not taking time for myself." And you know what? At the end of the day, we all know what we should be doing. We all know that we should take care of ourselves, and we know exactly what we should be eating, what we should be doing in terms of exercise or meditation. We just don't block the time to do it. And it's kind of a slippery slope, which can lead to very interesting moment, as I experienced 2 months ago, but that's for another story. But my point is, especially now more than ever, it's absolutely crucial to focus on our own health, on our own mental health. So my call to action to you: block 1 hour per day and start the day with that, and do your morning routine, whether it's meditation, exercising, writing. There's an acronym in the book The Miracle Morning from Al Elrod that I try to apply every day. It's called SAVERS. It's silence, meditation, affirmation. V is for visualization. E is for exercise. R is for reading. And S for scribing, so writing. I'm not good at writing every day. I try to do it once in a while. But the rest, in terms of meditation, in terms of even walking, exercising, reading, visualization, that is something that I try to do every morning. And I know that if I don't do it in the morning, there's a lot of chance I'm not going to do it at all during the day. But that's started with me. That started with my own health. That started with my own mental health. I also now work in an office where I see other people. So it's sort of a co-working place, but I am not alone. I see human beings. And there's a dynamic in seeing other people working as well. And I do exercise regularly, which is absolutely essential. It's basic. Everybody knows what they should be doing. Most of us are not necessarily doing it. So I would strongly recommend that in this day and age, in those following weeks and months where there's a lot of uncertainty, focus on what you can have an impact on. The certainty of exercising every day, the certainty of taking care of yourself, and the certainty of taking care of your mental health will have an impact on you, will have an impact on your business, will have an impact on your family and the people around you. And that's something that we can definitely impact. It's our own will, it's our own organization, it's our own planning, it's our own calendar, and it's our own priorities. So my wish for you is as soon as you finish listening to this, if you haven't done it yet, block the 1 hour in the morning. If it's needed, work up a little earlier, but take care of yourself on a daily basis. Thank you, and I will see you on the next podcast or the next industry conference. Thank you for tuning in to the Business of Meeting podcast. I hope you found today's episode valuable. If you enjoyed the show, the most important thing you can do is leave a review and share it with your colleagues. It really helps spread the word. I truly appreciate your support. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level, don't forget to visit eventbusinessformula.com to learn more about how we are helping even business owners like you. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.